Those bags are for you and Dad to take. Get out of here, will you?
I couldn't hide my shock at the sight of the bags piled up at the front door. Everything in them belonged to me and my husband, from clothes to daily necessities. What's going on? Why are you kicking us out of our own home? My hands trembled with anger at the sheer injustice. Seeing my reaction, my son and daughter-in-law smirked.
We're taking over this house before Dad gets back from his business trip. Consider it our wedding gift.
That's absurd. You can't do that. Well, you didn't give us any wedding money, so it's only fair. You're old anyway. Why don't you just go to a nursing home or something? Mia said, and Alex burst into laughter.
Great idea. Off to the nursing home with you.
They both jeered at the idea of sending us to a nursing home. I found the situation so ridiculous that I burst into laughter. They looked at me suspiciously, but I didn't care. Are you sure you won't regret this?
Regret? We'll feel relieved.
All right then, suit yourselves. I smiled at the bluffing Alex and Mia, grabbed my bags, and left the house.
It feels so good without the nuisances.
We got the house too! This is awesome! I heard their jubilant voices from the other side of the front door. They have no idea what's coming for them. I dragged my carry-on bag away from the scene. My name is Laura. I've worked in caregiving for many years and retired at 70. I enjoy interacting with people, so even after retirement, I volunteer locally. My husband is also in his 70s and runs a small to medium-sized business. He's quite active for his age, often accompanying his employees on business trips. It seems that the company will be handed over when the successor grows up, so I would like to support my husband's work until then. We have a son named Alex. He was a miracle baby for us, as we struggled with infertility for years. We raised him with love and care, and he used to be a well-behaved child. Alex had always been a good kid, the kind of son that made parents proud and neighbors talk. It's not like we spoiled him. We taught him the basics. What's wrong is wrong, and don't do things that annoy others. But when Alex hit high school, we realized there's only so much parents can do. He started hanging out with a local group of troubled teens, and his life began to spiral. The influence of friends can be greater than that of parents. Our once honest and straightforward son became rebellious, selfish, and self-centered. He barely graduated high school and went on to a local college, where he started demanding to live alone. We rented an apartment for him and supported his tuition and living expenses. We hoped college would give him a sense of urgency and a stepping stone to independence. But Alex barely attended classes and remained aimless even after barely graduating. Now, Alex is in his mid-40s. No job, no significant other. Is he going to be all right? These were my worries when I called him about coming home for the holidays. That's when everything started to unravel. Hello, who is this? The voice I heard after 6 months was clearly not Alex's. A woman's voice, cute but somewhat languid. Is this Alex's phone? Who are you? Who are you? I heard Alex's voice faintly in the background.
Mia, who are you talking to?
Alex, some unknown lady is calling.
I don't know any older women. Who is it?
Alex, now laughing, took the phone and his voice turned noticeably annoyed when he realized it was his mom.
What do you want, Mom?
Why? You haven't shown your face in years. How about coming home for the holidays? Your dad misses you. In fact, my husband was really missing him. Probably more than me. He's always concerned about Alex's future and well-being. Maybe it's because they used to fight a lot during his teenage years. But Alex's response was cold.
Nah, coming home is a hassle. I'm staying here with Mia.
At least call your dad.
Yeah, I get it.
So the girl earlier, Mia, are you dating her? Living together? I couldn't help but ask about the woman I had just spoken to. Would a girlfriend really answer her boyfriend's phone without permission? Would she rudely address a stranger as you and speak without any courtesy? Honestly, it was pretty outrageous. But instead of answering, Alex just clicked his tongue in annoyance.
Ugh, so annoying.
What did you say?
You guys are always so annoying. Always meddling in my business.
Without a shout, he hung up the phone. I had been yelled at during Alex's rebellious years, but I never thought he'd speak to me like that as an adult. I stood there, phone in hand, stunned.
I'm home. Did you talk to Alex?
That night, I told my husband about the rude woman who answered the phone and the harsh words from Alex. My husband looked serious, but eventually said,
Well, he is working. Even if it's temporary employment, let's give him some space.
Maybe my husband was right. I was shocked when Alex changed in high school, influenced by his surroundings. I've been anxious that he might be hanging out with the wrong crowd or dating someone questionable. Maybe my over-involvement was getting to him. I decided to consciously hold back on reaching out. A few months later, Alex contacted us. He said he had found a decent job back home and would be returning soon. Despite everything, my husband and I were relieved. It's unsettling when your child is far away, and comforting when they return. But when Alex came home, he brought an unfamiliar woman with him.
This is Mia. We're getting married.
My husband and I couldn't hide our surprise at the sudden marriage announcement, especially since Alex was still a temporary worker. And Mia apparently wasn't working steadily either. Could they really get by without stable income? Welcome, Mia. Wow, Alex's family home is so old-fashioned. Is the floor going to collapse?
How long have you two been dating?
I don't remember. Are you the type to worry about the details, old man? Mia's answers to our questions were dismissive. Alex didn't correct her. He just laughed along. My husband and I exchanged a glance and shrugged in disappointment.
This is bad.
My husband's words sounded like he was pitying them. Despite our objections, Alex and Mia went ahead and registered their marriage. When we said we wanted to meet Mia's parents, she told us it wasn't necessary, denying us even a meeting of both families. Moreover, upon moving back to their hometown, Alex and Mia started living in a brand new apartment.
It's so different from the rundown place we were living in before,
Alex said, clearly pleased. But with their unstable income, there's no way they could afford the rent for such a nice new place. Sure enough, they started relying on our money. We decided to help with the rent, thinking they'd have expenses as newlyweds. But they also started coming over more often to eat, perhaps to save on groceries. Yet, Mia's attitude remained the same.
What's with this side dish? It looks disgusting.
It's always been like this. Lacks color or something. Alex chimed in. I was getting irritated. If you don't like it, you don't have to eat it. You're the ones who keep showing up. I'm just cooking extra for you. Mia seemed unfazed and didn't take my words to heart. Influenced by her, Alex became increasingly rude to me and my husband, making us dread interacting with them. Then suddenly, my husband had to go on a business trip. He had to spend several weeks in another region with a potential successor for the company. During that time, I'd have to deal with Alex and Mia alone.
I'm really sorry to leave you alone at a time like this.
It's fine. You're about to retire from being the boss anyway. And look, we have something to look forward to.
True. It's just a matter of enduring until that's completed.
Don't let those two get to you too much. We encouraged each other, and a few days later, I saw my husband off. After that, for some reason, Alex and Mia stopped coming over, and a brief period of peace was ensued. I was busy with my re-entry volunteer activities, so it was good not to have to deal with them. But one day, I came home to find Alex rummaging through my dresser, where I keep my banking cards. What are you doing? I turned on the lights and shouted. Alex tossed the banking card he was holding.
Bad timing. You shouldn't have come back.
Do you even realize what you're doing?
We're family, so give me some money. We didn't even get a wedding gift from you.
Alex lamented not receiving a wedding gift, but that's to be expected. After all, my husband and I still haven't accepted his marriage to Mia. We're already helping with their rent and providing meals. And now he's trying to steal his own parents' banking card. Unbelievable. I immediately kicked Alex out. I don't remember raising a child who would steal money from his parents. If you ever do this again, we're done. I hurled these strong words at him, and he left, clicking his tongue. I immediately called my husband to tell him what had happened. Even though we're family, the fact that Alex was trying to forcibly take money alarmed my husband.
That Alex would do something like this.
I warned him we'd cut ties if he does it again, but there's no guarantee he won't.
Let's move the banking cards to a different location for now. I'll be back in a few days and we can have a proper discussion then.
All right, I'll be waiting. Only a few more days until my husband returns. I hid our valuables and braced myself for any surprise visits from Alex and Mia. But I never expected them to resort to such drastic measures. One day, When I returned from my re-entry volunteer activities, I found a truck parked in front of our house. Boxes and furniture were being carried in by movers. I rushed inside and found Alex and Mia. "What are you doing?"
"Oh, Mom. Sorry, but we have decided to take this house."
"Owning a home is an asset, right? So it's better if we live here instead of you old folks," Mia said, laughing. I was too confused to comprehend what they were saying.
"Besides, Dad's still working at 70, right? Even now, he's on a business trip. I don't want to end up like that. Working hard is for suckers. While you guys are still healthy, we're taking what we can."
Remarks that make a fool of her husband. Alex's words were a mockery of my husband, who has worked hard as a small and medium-sized business owner. I understand that it's been tough getting the business off the ground, but to me, this felt like an unbearable insult.
"Those are your belongings. Get out!"
Alex pointed to several bags packed at the entrance. I couldn't hide my shock. Everything from our clothes to daily necessities had been shoved into bags. Why should we have to leave the house we live in for you two? Faced with such unjust treatment, my hands trembled with anger. Seeing my reaction, the couple grinned.
"We're gonna make this house ours before Dad gets back from his trip. Consider it a wedding gift."
That's impossible. You didn't give us a wedding gift, so this is only fair. You're old. Why don't you go to a facility or something? When Mia said that, Alex joined in with a big laugh.
"That's a great idea. Old folks should go to a facility. A facility!"
As they chanted, urging me to go to a facility, something in me snapped, and I burst into laughter. The two of them looked at me suspiciously, but I didn't care. "Are you sure about this? You won't regret kicking me out?"
"Huh? We'll feel refreshed."
"All right then, suit yourselves." I smiled at the defiant Alex and Mia, grabbed my bags and left the house.
It feels so good without the nuisance."
"We got the house too! This is awesome!" I could hear their jubilant voices from the other side of the front door. They have no idea what's coming their way. Dragging my carry-on bag, I left the scene. A month later, I received a call from Alex, who knew I was now living with my husband, who had returned from his business trip. "Hello? Alex, what's going on?"
"Mom, it's terrible. The house."
"What happened to the house?" Alex's voice was clearly panicked. Even without asking, I could tell something urgent was happening. Actually, I already knew why Alex was in trouble.
"Did you know this house is going to be demolished?"
Oh, did I forget to mention that? My feigned ignorance was met with Mia's voice. "What the hell, mother-in-law? Did you set us up?" "You moved in without knowing anything. Besides, how could a house that you didn't inherit become your asset?" Mia was still ranting, but I didn't care. The house they took from us was scheduled for demolition. Once my husband returned from his trip, we planned to tell Alex and move into our newly built one-story home. We had moved our banking cards to the new house the day Alex went snooping, so they were safe. I was planning to explain everything step by step, but Alex and Mia took that opportunity away from us.
"Listen, the contractors are already here, telling us to vacate. Where are you guys? Can you take us in for a bit?"
Well, You have that rental apartment, don't you? You were living there originally, so you can just go back.
We thought we'd get the family home, so we already terminated the lease.
I was utterly amazed at my own son's lack of crisis management skills. It seems Alex and Mia had prematurely terminated their apartment lease, thinking they could live in the family home and use the money I was paying for rent however they wanted. Only then did they find out the house was going to be demolished. But that's not our problem anymore. You guys better leave soon. If anyone other than the owner, my husband, is found living in a house scheduled for demolition, you could be charged with trespassing.
Come on, we're family. Help us out.
You're the ones who told your parents to go to a facility, right? I did as you wished, so figure out the rest yourselves. With that, I hung up the phone without waiting for a reply. After that, the demolition began, and the house my husband and I had lived in for years disappeared without a trace. I thought the situation might turn into a police matter if Alex and Mia didn't leave by the deadline, but it seems my worries were unfounded. Life was peaceful for a while, but the calls from Alex and Mia didn't stop. We even changed our phone numbers, but they managed to track us down through local volunteer connections. Their demands were, as always, about money. Alex and Mia, without stable jobs and now without a home, were living in company housing while working at a factory. Despite having a roof over their heads, they still wanted to live luxuriously on someone else's dime.
If you don't give us money, we'll show up at your house.
My husband and I became a bit concerned upon hearing this desperate threat. Only a handful of people know the location of our new home. My husband had just retired as the CEO and passed the reins to his successor. But he had told some people at the company about our new residence.
I don't think our employees would leak information to someone like him.
Maybe we should talk to them, just in case. While we were discussing this, Alex and Mia showed up at my husband's company. The current CEO informed us about their visit. Did they cause any trouble at the workplace? We were quite concerned, but the current CEO assured us that that wasn't the case. The employees had heard my husband complain about Alex and Mia before, and they were appalled by their actions towards us. So when Alex and Mia showed up at the company, they were firmly turned away. They persistently demanded to know our whereabouts, but the CEO assured us he didn't reveal anything. He even told them off, asking how much more unfilial they could be, and chuckled as he told us. Alex and Mia left the company in frustration and haven't returned. The CEO promised to inform us and take legal action if they try any harassment, which we gratefully accepted. He assured us that the entire company intends to protect my husband and me. It's probably the result of goodwill my husband built up while running the company. And we made a decision.
We're cutting ties with Alex and Mia, wanting money so badly that they'd inconvenience not just their parents but also those around them.
Exactly. I don't even feel sad about it anymore. Parents and children are separate individuals, even if they share the same blood. There's a limit to how many times you can forgive terrible behavior. What follows is something we heard through my husband's contacts. Alex and Mia apparently working non-stop at the factory. They've angered the factory manager by slacking off and doing a sloppy job with assembling parts. It seems they're now paying the price for their previous laziness. Perhaps because of their busy lives, Alex and Mia are constantly fighting, causing complaints from their neighbors in the company housing. Saving money is difficult for them, as their hobbies include playing the lottery and smoking, both money-draining activities. The stress of not being able to save money despite working hard and having no one to rely on must be tough. But I can't bring myself to feel sorry for them. They've never worked a proper job, which is why they could shamelessly ask for money. I hope their factory jobs will lead them to change their ways, even a little. I still get occasional calls and emails from Alex. He writes things like he's sorry for what happened and wants to get along as a family. He seems to have changed a bit, but I still can't trust him. Only when they become self-reliant and considerate can we share a life together. As long as they're preoccupied with themselves, a fresh start will be difficult. Since retiring as CEO, my husband has taken up home gardening, something he's wanted to do since he was young. I assist him with his gardening while continuing my re-entry volunteer work in our new location. I had hoped to live peacefully with our son and daughter-in-law. Ideally, I would have wanted to live peacefully with our son and his wife. That wish may not have come true, but as long as I know they're alive and well somewhere, that's enough for me. The time I spend with my husband is more precious and warm than anything else. I intend to protect this invaluable happiness and lifestyle with all my might.